Aloha and welcome to Lucy's Paradise podcast. Today we have Kanoa Morse, a local comedian. What's up? Thanks for joining us.
I'm really stoked to be here. I'm actually an alumni of Windward Community College, and it's so strange coming back here because I graduated in 2017, and I'm coming back, and I'm like, oh wow, the facilities got way better.
Yeah, my bad. My map goes to that side parking lot, and I just discovered this morning that they're reconstructing it.
My goal is to do well on this podcast and then get out of here before I get towed.
Oh shit, where'd you park?
I don't know. Oh, I parked right behind.
I think you can park. There's open spots in the back. They're not gonna tow you, dude. They're not that serious.
I don't want to give away my position. And then
okay,
yeah. Go.
Don't give away your position. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about you. Growing up here.
Born and raised on the Windward side. I'm born to a Hawaiian dad and a European mom. Not European.
Ooh, love that.
Not European. She's Haole. I don't know how to.
She's white. She's
a white lady from
the
West Coast, but she's a military brat, so she's from all over the place.
Oh, okay.
And then born and raised in Kailua Kaneohe.
Ooh, fancy. I love
sucks.
That.
I mean, it's Kailua is beautiful. Kaneohe is has my heart, but being Native Hawaiian and then looking like this.
Yeah.
And then people are like, "Oh, you Hawaiian?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, are you from?" And I'm like,
I know, it's crazy how white you look.
Thank you. I'm gonna take that. It's he looks like he wears sunscreen. I don't. I'm aging like
you don't have to, right? That's the trick of actually being Hawaiian.
But yeah, growing up on the Windward side,
you're
really
nice. You're like the black people's definition of light skinned. You know how they're not considered black to some. Is that crazy?
I'm like the Hapa Hawaiian version of Logic.
Logic, yeah.
Where I'll start speaking pidgin and they'll look at me and I'll be like, "Is he allowed to do that?"
Yeah. I'm sure the first time Logic dropped the N-word, everyone was like,
"Can we get?"
He brought his black dad out.
Citation needed.
Yeah. So what got you into comedy?
So I've always had an extremely large head, and in elementary school, people would make fun of me for having a large head. And then I would go home in elementary, disgruntled, and I would talk to my dad. I'm like, so-and-so in school made fun of me. Can I beat them up? And my dad would be like, that's your cousin. You got to ask your uncle. And so,
shit.
Because I'm, everyone's some kind of calabash. And then, so I was like, well, I can't beat them up. What do I do? And I would just go home in third and fourth grade and just jam Premium Blend Comedy Central Presents, Insomniac, whatever was on Comedy Central or stand-up related. Just so I could have witty things.
You were allowed to watch that when you were how old?
7.
Damn. Okay.
Both my parents worked. I'm allowed to do whatever
Zero
I want.
Parent supervision. Got it.
It's just, I
But you wouldn't be funny if you didn't get that exposure, right?
As long as I didn't burn down the house or break anything, I was chilling.
Yeah. That's why peanut butter jelly sandwiches are the go-to thing kids make.
Oh, you got to do the peanut butter and honey.
Ooh.
I think something about the honey dehydrates or the peanut butter dehydrates the honey and it makes this crispy pseudo toast texture.
Yeah.
I don't know the science behind it.
It sounds like you know the science behind it though.
Shit.
I don't know the science, but I just explained the science, no? So you got into it because people would bully you, basically. And you're I want to bully you back.
And then I got really good at it. One time we went to the principal's office, me and some dude that was just smack talking me in elementary school. And then, I thought I was the victim. And then he started crying. And I was like, yes.
You're like, I'm the bully now.
It's
the
it's
roles
working.
have reversed.
Yeah, and now I have to, just tone it back. But, it started as, a defense mechanism thing in elementary school. And then, eventually I just accidentally fell in love with the art form. And then I didn't start really doing it until I was in, my mid-20s.
Oh, on stage.
Yeah. I was I didn't know that was an option. Because I was growing up on the Windward side. It's not exactly a lot of night scene here.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Wasn't until I married a girl that's a townie, and then I'm like, oh, there's stuff to do. And then I started going out.
And then you went to comedy, open mics, and kind of, do you like open mics more, or?
It depends. I don't know. Because, if you're at a paid show and no one's there, it feels a lot worse than when you're at an open mic and no one's there. If you're at an open mic and no one's there, then they're like, yeah, what do you expect? It's you and 4 other comedians and 2 people that didn't know this was happening tonight. Sometimes it's packed. You never know.
Do you, adjust your material like based on the audience when you show up sometimes? Or do you stick to like, this is what I've worked on, this is what's given me most success, and like you kind of have like your main stuff that you're probably going to go into?
I think it depends on your purpose. I think it's a useful skill to be able to like tailor yourself to an audience, but like a lot of the time at an open mic, are you there for the audience, or are you there because you had some material that you wanted to work out and you got to kind of figure out, you know, do I want to make my own goal happen, or do I want to make the audience happy, or can I try to work out both of those?
Right. Interesting.
A 6-person show is going to be a lot different than like the material you're practicing for like a 100-person show or something like that.
Yeah.
And you'll have to adjust it and get it a little more personal so that they feel involved. Yeah.
Because I felt like the New Faces of Comedy one that we did, like the crowd was pretty there. It was pretty tough. But also, I think like the guys that went on prior kind of like fucked it up for everybody else because they like kind of made it awkward.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love when that happens. No, that's like a.
But at least it was good in a way because I was like, well, there's nothing I can say that's more awkward than what they just said.
I can't make it worse.
Yeah, like you can't beat pedophile jokes. You know what I mean? So like, open mics and actual show. Oh, talk about the Hawaiian show. Tell me about that.
So, me and a bunch of the other local comics, we just did this Kawaii-Con show. Our comedy crew was called Boto Mate. It's a contraction of Choto Mate, which is like please wait, and then Boto, which is I think it comes from Tagalog for like dingling. And it was amazing. I don't know.
AKA my brother's nickname. No.
Yeah. Boto head.
Yeah.
It was amazing because like a lot of the comics that were on the show and involved with the show, it was put together by local comic Jasmine Bautista, one of the best comics on the island, period. And so it was her, Ian Shippen, JG Fuentes, Trey Kuhn, and Nalo from Maima Nalo, and then me, because we all have nerdy inclinations. And then so we had a bunch of material that were like, you know, I can never pull this out in an open mic. Because, you know, if you go to, like, Slack Key Lounge, it could be a great audience, but it's, like, 60-year-old men on vacation, and it's just, like, I don't know if this Dragon Ball Z joke is going to find its target.
Right. Okay, so in this instance, you kind of, like, know what the group is going to be into, obviously, right?
I think it's honestly one of the ways to go for producing shows outside of the weekly and, like, periodic shows that we have here. I think, like, the theme and then, like, the venue really kind of helped us tailor the audience and, like, know it's, like, this is going to hit. It was amazing. I don't know, because like Jasmine and them were running it, and like I've produced shows before too, and there's always that feeling of like, no one's gonna come.
Yeah.
No one's gonna come. It's gonna be 5 people. It's gonna be so awkward.
There's no way at Hawaiian no one's gonna come. Yeah.
It was like 150 people.
That's fucking cool.
And you look at it and you're like, oh shit. It's like it's either
you're no like, one shows
up.
My name?
It's either no one shows up and you're like, fuck. Or like everyone shows up
and you're like fuck. Yeah. Damn it, they're here. What are you all doing here?
I don't know if there was a way to make me happy, but this is two extremes here.
Dude, Jasmine is so funny.
One of my favorites. And I feel like, you know, she's the you know how like capybaras in nature, like all the animals just kind of fuck with them?
Yeah.
She's like the scene's capybara where everyone's like, she's chill.
Yeah.
No one mess with.
She does, yeah. She has that personality. I like morbid jokes. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple things that she made a joke about that are like a little morbid, and I was like, that's fucking funny. I always think that kind of shit's funny.
Her joke on taxidermy. I'm not gonna go further into it. And if you want to know what that joke is, tune in to.
Yeah. Follow her on Instagram. She's so funny. Instagram. She'll probably be live somewhere soon. Who knows? She's always
in demand.
She's in demand. So what was I going to ask you? How does being Hawaiian influence your comedy style?
So here's the thing is like, I grew up a very irreverent person where I'm like, you know, I wouldn't say I'm like sacrilegious about a lot of things, but I just bring like a bit of levity in places where people wouldn't expect it or find it kind of disconcerting. And so like, when it comes to making jokes that involve Hawaii or like Hawaiian culture or Hawaiian heritage.
Right.
I try to be trepidatious, you know, I try to be a little more cautious when I approach those kinds of subjects. I think that there's a way to make a funny joke about a situation that's serious without it ending up with like the touchy subjects being the actual butt of the joke. And I feel like that's where like writing comes in, optics, connotations, all that kind of stuff. It's really important to pay mind to those kinds of things.
Do you have any advice to like newer comedians trying to like
Ooh,
write jokes or gain
it's
experience?
it's not my advice, but one of the best pieces of advice I heard recently was from Anthony Jeselnik, and famously, like his whole thing is like dark comedy. Everyone knows him for it at this point.
Yeah.
And he said that, and I think he was quoting Andy Warhol. So I'm quoting two people here.
Hmm.
It's a Russian nesting doll of quotes right now. Um, the art is not the art is getting away with it, right?
Mm.
Like if you offend someone with the joke, that's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to make that person laugh about it. So
Right,
if you can make
right.
a joke about someone in a particular community, but you use insight and like context and like experience with that community, and you can get them to laugh at themselves, that's a well
Mm.
written joke. If you're just
Right,
pissing off
right,
everyone
right.
from a certain demographic, I don't think that that's like the achieved effect. Unless you're trying to make people on the opposite side of that laugh, then sure, you're just kind of like polarizing. But like if you can
Right.
make everyone laugh with a joke that's like about them, I think that's a sign of good writing talent.
Okay. So how do you balance making jokes about local culture while respecting it?
I have a joke that I do about because
You're like, I don't respect it. I'm just kidding. I just say it like a joke and then you're there.
sorry, Tutu. No, I respect it. It's kind of you know how like when you have close friends and you can roast them,
Oh, right, right, right.
and you know that there's like a it's kind of like when you like the golf meter in like a video game about golf where it's
Yeah,
like if
yeah.
you hit it too hard it just goes like whoa,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
too much. It's like you got to dial it back
Ah,
for the homies, and like if you razz them just a little bit it's like a friendly like haha you fucker, and then like so like you just got to find out what that is for an inanimate object or like a cultural more, and then just dial it in correctly, and then maybe not everyone's gonna like it, but as long as you
right.
can get like a
Well, I guess the open mics too are a great gauge of like how far did I just take it
mm-hmm.
based on the reaction, right? And then like, okay, if I took it too far, maybe on the next open mic I'll change it around or maybe
And it's hard to tell too, because like if you're at an open mic where it's all other comics, they're generally gonna have thicker skin because
right.
they've heard it all.
That's true.
You got to go to like an open mic where it's like a bunch of people on vacation, and then like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a lot of data gathering. That sucks.
Data
I
gathering,
just want to tell dick
yeah.
jokes now. I got to do statistics.
That's funny. Do you have any like influences, local influences here?
Local influences.
Yeah. Local and then we'll go other influences, but
When I
any
was in
here or maybe when you were younger?
That's a really interesting question that I have a pretty multifaceted answer for. So like
Okay.
when I was in elementary school, Frank DeLima stopped by my elementary school,
I remember
and
him.
that was a like a giant influence. It's like I can make people laugh for
Yeah.
money. What?
For money?
I've
I
been
never
doing
really
this
thought
for
he was that
free.
funny, but
And it comes down to like uh times. I think that there's things that are insanely funny in like the generation that it's happening in, and I have massive respect for him and what he's done for Hawaii comedy. But I think it's pretty easy to acknowledge that like a lot of the kind of racial humor, or at least like the style of it, may not have aged as well. But I
mm,
still think that he's an incredibly funny person, and I think that there's still something to be said about the friendly neighborly racial antagonism in Hawaii. It
mm,
was really bad in the past during like the plantation era when everyone was like, I hate those people over there. If they come over here, I'm gonna be angry at them. But I feel like the interracial relations in Hawaii, it's a lot different than it is in a lot of the other places in the United States.
that's true. Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think that there's something to be said about being able to be like, you from here, that's why you do this.
Mm.
And then they're like, fuck, I am from there and do that. That's like,
Right, right, right. They're like, that's
and so
true.
like being able to do that in like a friendly manner, I think kind of illustrates the modern racial harmony and disharmony. You know, it's like a harmonic disharmony.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have like racial jazz going on in Hawaii. That's what's going on.
Right,
And
right.
I think
It's
there's
such a
something
unique place. Yeah.
there's something to be said about like that kind of carrying on into like the present day comedic zeitgeist of Hawaii.
Yeah, I haven't heard any of like anything recent from Frank DeLima. Like, so I haven't.
He's retiring from doing shows at schools.
Yeah. So I haven't seen kind of, I guess, the evolvement part of it, but I just remember when I was younger, I probably just didn't get the joke or something when I was younger because I think I was like way too young.
There's a song by the Beamer Brothers called Mr. Suncholi, and it's like literally what I said is like, this guy's from here, he does this, and he doesn't share any of it with me, jerk. And then it just keeps going across like all of like the major racial diaspora we have here. But
Yeah.
in the end, it's just like, we're all neighbors though. It's chill. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's so interesting here.
Besides DeLima, there's Andy Bumatai. I really look up to James Mane. I think he's really dope.
From Oahu?
Yeah. You never met James?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You'd know.
Okay.
He's like 6'8".
I did not meet anyone 6'8". Yeah.
Every
no,
time he
haven't
walks
met
into
him.
the venue, it's like when Gandalf walks into the Shire.
Does he suck at free throws too?
He better not.
You better not.
I think he could just like
Just put it in
from
there.
the line.
Yeah. Damn. What about favorite or influential comedians outside of Hawaii? Like ones that you've watched on TV?
Growing up, I really grew up on like the raunchy bar comedy. So like I grew up on like Greg Giraldo,
Damn.
Dave Attell.
You
and
really
stuff
had
like
no
that.
parents watching you at all.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know, like I'm up at 12. I had my own room. Like they're oofing or whatever. They're not paying attention to what I'm watching on TV.
That's so fucking funny. Oh my god.
Greg Giraldo. Wait, who else?
Yeah.
Recently I've been getting more into like the nerdy humor. So like Matthew Broussard, Sammy Obeid.
You know who I really liked pretty consistently? Daniel Tosh.
Daniel Tosh,
Because he has some intelligent jokes. And I'm like, damn.
he dated
you
a
know?
girl from Oahu.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Can see
that's
that.
the only thing I know about that. Is like
Yeah.
he seems like someone that would like.
He seems like he says shit too that like not like many people would say. Like he kind of walks the line.
Again,
Definitely jumps the line a bit.
that's
I would
that
say.
jester's privilege. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the historical concept?
Yes.
Uh,
So what do you think about people that get like super offended by like comedians?
and you know, I think, and there's no hard and fast, right? It's not like a yes or
Like
no.
I guess Matt Rife recently was like the most current person that like got quote unquote canceled, right? Because he made like a domestic violence joke or whatever.
Matt Rife's just too big. It's like the reason we don't have like giant tarantulas. It's just they collapse under their own weight, kind of thing. Like Matt Rife's just so fucking huge. At some point, his audience is so large that like everyone's gonna see the video, and that means you're gonna have a lot more people being like, "Oh, I don't like this." You know, I think it's much more preferable.
More of a numbers thing.
I think it's more preferable to have like a medium-sized audience that like you can kind of curate where they kind of get you, as opposed to just being so giant everyone can voice their opinions. That's one of my things as a comic. It's like, I don't think I'm gonna make it big, but if I make it big, I hope it's not too big.
Right.
Paying the mortgage would be dope.
That's kind of how I feel about podcasting. Like the goal is not to be like super fucking huge, you know? It's just to like be sustainable. Because then it's like a numbers game. You have more negative shit.
I know I haven't made it as a comedian yet because I've only gotten positive feedback so far. Everyone's dope, that's a good show.
You're like, damn it, I don't got haters yet.
I don't have any haters, and you know, you could be first.
Yeah. If you want to hate on him,
follow me on Kanoa Morse. Kanoa Morse on Instagram. You can go ahead and put a hateful comment in one of my comments. It would make me really happy.
I'm gonna go comment, fucking nerd.
Yeah.
What is one of the funniest or weirdest experiences you've had while performing comedy in Hawaii?
I had a heckler one time, and then I had like a lady defending me from the heckler. And the lady defending me from the heckler scared me more than the heckler. I was performing, and like the heckler, she wasn't even like trying to be a dick. She was just really drunk. This was in a
Oh
show. This was
shit.
in a show in Waikiki,
Love that for
and
her.
I was playing off of it, and I was like, yes, okay, cool. Anyways, right? Because
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
just pulled my teacher skills. I was like, yes, that's not what we're talking about. Anyways, someone else want to?
Keep your hands to yourself.
Yes. And then
Eyes up here, and you do
yeah. 1, 2, 3, eyes on, and then
teachers.
this lady on the side was just like, you need to be quiet. People are here to see a show. And I was like, oh shit, I'm scared now. Can I tell my joke? Like I don't know if I'm allowed to talk now
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. She was like the principal. She came in super hard. That's funny.
Strong women are my weakness. They just tell me to do something. I'm like,
Have you performed anywhere outside of Hawaii or just here?
oh, I had the opportunity to perform in California, but I got sick.
So you didn't do it?
No.
Fuck, that would have been cool.
That's a long way to say no.
It's a long way to say I got sick.
Although I will say,
I don't know if you did it sick,
I will say, I hate comics from LA. I'm going to make that
Oh, yeah?
an ultimatum.
Why?
I hate all comics from LA.
They only joke about Irwan.
No. I hate all comics from LA because they're incredibly polished
Ah.
and like
I
professional.
see.
And I feel a comic from LA doing their set
You're
feels
jelly
like
at the Riz.
feels like you're doing a tour in one of those like North Korean towns where it's all just kind of like facade. And I'm like, what's really going on here though? Like, can you show me what's behind the curtain?
Yeah.
Because they're all just so like and it's by necessity because it's like you have to, if you're in LA, you're there for like opportunity, so you have to be a living resume.
Right. I wonder if the crowds are like worse out there because people are just like more judgmental maybe than here. I wonder.
I heard San Fran can be a little hard. LA,
I could see that.
I heard it can be hit or miss. I heard some can be really easy, some can be, it's a mixed bag like anywhere. I feel like if I did comedy in LA, it would be like wanting to talk about something I'm interested in while I'm on cocaine and everyone else is on cocaine. Because I'm talking, but everyone else is waiting for their turn to speak and not listening to me.
Yeah.
It's like I got a huge crowd and it's the 26 other comics on the list.
Yeah, I don't know if that would even make it harder to like tell jokes to a crowd that's potentially just coked out.
I feel like the heckling would be fun. And by fun, I mean like horrendous. I wouldn't want to experience that.
Yeah. Do you have like one specific joke that really kills here that you like?
I have a joke where I compare my manhood to Mauna Kea. It's a lot more respectful than it sounds.
I like it already.
It sounds terrible at face value.
Okay.
But it does kill pretty consistently. It's one of those jokes though where it's like the premise has been thought of before, so you have to work really hard to kind of make it your own and not just like make it like a hack joke. It's not like I'm up there thinking I'm some kind of trailblazer.
You didn't like the skeleton of it is kind of copied, but you put your creative twist on it, obviously, because Mauna Kea's
comedy's like cooking, it's like everyone knows how to make like beef Wellington, but this is my version of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I didn't copy Gordon Ramsay's recipe,
yeah,
but there is mushroom in between the puff pastry and the beef.
Yeah, true. What role do Hawaiian values like ohana or aloha play in your approach to comedy, or does it?
Hawaiian values I think it's just really important. There's, like I said, like I'm an irreverent person. I don't put like sacredness on too many things in my life, but even if that's the case for me, it's reasonable to acknowledge that you have to like, if you're gonna touch a sacred cow, it better get a laugh, kind of thing. Getting away with it is the art, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't try to tread on too many of the Hawaiian values. Like that's not my MO. But family, I guess. Family is a good topic to make jokes about though, because there's so many universal experiences we have growing up in Hawaiian families, regardless of like what ethnic or cultural background you come from. There's gonna be some commonalities. Like true. The first time you got buzz cutted by your uncle in like a garage, and then you just doing this.
Yeah.
Like everyone kind of knows what that feels like, and you can make a joke out of that if you feel like it. Almost dating your cousin, like that's.
Yeah.
It's like, what's your last name? Madero's? Not risking it.
Yeah. Not risking it. Do you ever feel there are like certain subjects or like taboos that are harder to joke about here?
Harder to joke about here. I mean, like the standard stuff everywhere. I'm not gonna chime in on the Israel-Palestine conflict expecting myself to be some kind of genius. Um, all the dark stuff. I have friends that like specialize in dark comedy, like Brian Pham. He's up in New York right now. He's amazing at it. I've tried it once after he won a tournament. To, like everyone was trying their dark jokes after he won this tournament here in Hawaii, and no one was doing as well because it's like
Wow.
not our like specialty. There's some kind of
Mm,
ethos you
not
gotta
everyone
build,
can pull it off.
and it does,
Like
and
sometimes it's funny when someone says something because of how they look.
yeah,
Like you don't expect it or something.
Brian Pham looks like someone that could bully you, and then you'd be like, ah, it's cool. This guy's so cool. He bullied me. This is like an honor somehow.
Oh, I'm interested to hear what his jokes are. You said he's in New York. How do you think the comedy scene has changed out here since you started?
I've only been doing it for 2 years, so I hope it hasn't changed that much. There's been comers and goers. There's been folks that stick around. A lot of people intend to stick around, but then they move for one reason or another.
Mm.
Then there's some people that just come around for a while and then kind of stop showing up. And then there's the people that stick around and have been sticking around. And we all go to Korean barbecue together. I hope I stick around for a while longer. Hopefully it doesn't hurt my bank or my waistline too much. It will. Um, but we have the comics that are kind of just regular local comics here that stick around and hang out, and it's really nice. There is some like clickisms, but I mean that's any hobby ever you get into. There's going to be like but for the most part, everyone gets along, and I enjoy it a lot.
Not too
Culturally,
much. Not too much
there's
changes.
it's so small that you don't really try to make drama.
Yeah, yeah,
And if
yeah. That
someone
makes sense.
like cannonballs, it's just like, okay, we're gonna avoid that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you think like Hawaii comedians are underrepresented, like outside of Hawaii?
Jose Dynamite from Comedy U says this a lot. He says when he goes to the mainland, he sees a lot of mainland comics, even in like big cities, and he'll go to the comedy shows there, and he'll come back and he'll be like, I would put most of the regular Hawaii comics here up with those guys in terms of talent,
Wow.
which makes me feel really good. But I'm probably just including myself in that statement to feel good.
I think there's a lot of really talented people out here that are doing comedy. Like everyone's fucking funny. But again, the stuff that I think is funny, like we all kind of think are funny because we live here. You know?
Yeah, I think it would suck if I went to like the mainland and I'm like, bro, you guys ever been Kalihi? And it's just like,
They're
no,
like, what the fuck
what
are you
is
talking about?
that?
Yeah, yeah. I definitely think that would be a challenge. Like you'd have to adjust your jokes kind of in a way because obviously people aren't familiar with Hawaii, so you can't just make Hawaii specific jokes because people might not. Have to be more universal in a way, I guess.
It's like you're watching a show from Asia and they have to localize everything, and it's just like, oh yeah, the protagonist, Tom Patterson.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to do that when you go to the mainland.
What advice would you give some young Hawaiian comedian that wants to, I don't know.
Figure out the jokes that are hacky that have already been made. Try to find unique perspectives on things. You want to make people, you want to be relatable. You want to make people laugh. You don't want to just shock them. Um, Go out there, be friendly, make friends, keep coming out. That's like all you can do. Be
Yeah.
professional, I
Keep
guess.
developing the skill. Go to the workshops. There's a lot of workshops out here I didn't realize that they
Yeah,
do
so
for comedy and improv, which I think is almost good to just get experience in.
interdisciplinary for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a spectrum of like people that are like stand-ups that'll be like a lot of riff, and then there's stand-ups that are like almost entirely rote, right? And I feel like there's no one right answer. It's just kind of what school or persuasion you're from.
Right.
Um, but it's never a bad thing to know how to riff, how to crowd work, stuff like that. I think it's a
The more
really nice
tools under
skill.
your belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Be
the
Ba-
mission's to make people laugh. So
Be Batman. If you
be
can,
Batman.
if you can
That's his
involve,
advice. Be Batman.
you gotta, there's something in the utility belt
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for this exact situation, and you just keep it there. It's not thought up of on the
Yeah.
spot. You
Heckler?
think
Hold
about-
on. I have a domestic violence joke. I'm going to
Yeah,
pull out
maybe
right now.
I mean, I look like I should not be making jokes about that.
He's like, I look like a pedophile. No,
Yeah, just all the bad white people.
all
Just
the bad white people represented.
oh.
Yeah. If you could collaborate with any other local artist, comedian, do you have any favorites that you might want
Any
to?
other local artist or comedian? I think I already have. I don't know, but like
Oh yeah,
regularly,
yeah, just anyone you'd want to. Oh, who have you collaborated with that you've been?
I want to collaborate with Chris Styles. Like he hosts a lot of the tournaments that we have here for comedy.
Yeah, that's that younger kid, right?
No, it's the dude with the I don't know how to describe him. He's the big fucker
Oh yeah.
from the
Okay, the other dude.
radio that's
Yeah.
like charismatic and
Yeah.
is a rapper. I feel like he'd be a sick host, and I feel like he could host a lot more than just the tournaments. And I think it'd be dope to have a show where like he could bring the energy like that. And then I
Yeah.
think even more so if you got like Chris Styles, who's like a rapper, and then you got like some of the other like musical comedians we have here. Like there's
They're
a bunch
so
of those.
funny.
You get like Handsome Harold and like Chris Styles on a show.
Yeah.
That would murder. That would do so good.
Yeah. I went to a comedy show. Fuck, I forget what it was called, but I brought my friend and we were just like dying the whole time. And they were doing like musicals and they actually made fun of Carly or whatever. They used like her life story, and
Mm-hmm.
they were like, "What do you do?" And she's like, "I'm a mom. I make sandwiches." And so like they were like, "We make sandwiches," and they're just like singing about like, and I was like, "Dude, this shit's fucking good."
Making that on the spot is difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Because I mean, it's like making not only making a joke, but you're also like making a fucking song like live, like a chorus, verse, and all this. And I'm like, oh my god, what if you forgot like the chorus you just used, you know? So it was funny, and then to watch like the other characters like chime in and like just repeat the same thing, it's just so fucking funny.
What kind of was this an improv show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was an improv show. They had it like it was like their anniversary show or some shit that they did a few months ago.
Improv and stand-up comedy are pretty similar, in that they're both really lame until you're super good at it.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, this is uncomfortable to watch, and then you watch someone that's like amazing at it, and you're like, this is actually the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then like it's just like a bah, like just like the graph goes up all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting for that, but I was blown away. They were all really talented. They were all really funny. They could even sing. So it wasn't like you're like, ugh, like you have to sit through these people like they could actually sing. So like at least that was pleasant as well. Like, you know, because you don't expect that when you're coming to a comedy show. You know, you don't think that they're gonna do like some sort of musical aspect to it. So it's
Didn't think I
nice
was gonna
that
get serenaded.
yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
know I was gonna get serenaded, but it's nice because they didn't suck, you know. So it's like that would have been a little hard to stand, and it was also funny. So
I think it's mad important to because when you go out for open mics, you go out to a lot of things, and I feel like the cross disciplinary support in the arts here, like I'm going out to like opera shows, I'm going out to slam poetry, I'm going out to improv, I'm going out to just musicians, right? And so like you learn all these different performing arts communities, and I think that the cross genre support I think is essential for the scene to succeed here, especially because
yeah,
not a lot of people are aware about the stand-up comedy or the slam poetry or the one or the other. So I think everyone plugging each other, everyone going to each other's shows, that's the only way that the performing arts locally produced, small time, are going to
right.
be able to like proliferate is by, you know, unionizing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, kind of supporting each other. Yeah, there's some really talented people, dude. I'm really curious to see where they're gonna be in like the next 10 years. Yeah, you're one of them. I mean, I think you're really great. Hopefully, you do get an opportunity to go off island and see how your jokes, you know, adjust or see what jokes you can do outside of Hawaii. What is upcoming for you in comedy? Anything? Any other shows or
This is not going to be published today, I assume.
no?
I'm going to be at a comedy show later today. That's not going to come out in time.
Yeah, but if you go to a place regularly, you can always shout
Oh
that
yeah.
out.
So anyone that watches this that wants to watch stand-up comedy, whether it be a show, whether it be an open mics, Mondays at Hula's. That's mixed mic. It's poetry. It's musicians. Sometimes it's comedians. Tuesdays at the Slack Key Lounge. That's a comedy show put on by Jose Dynamite and Comedy U. It's a feature show followed by an open mic where everyone labs their jokes out. It's a wonderful venue in Hawaiian Brian's. Wednesdays at Anna O'Brien's, one of the other long-running open mics that we've had here. Feature show followed by open mic. Thursdays, new venue, Lokahi Brewing.
In Kailua?
Lokahi Brewing it's on King Street.
Oh, so it's in town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really awesome there. On Thursdays. Fridays, King's Pizza on Kapahulu. It's a bunch of comics on the sidewalk outside of a pizza place. It's dope. It's one of the only places you're going to be able to practice 15 minutes of material before you're getting paid to do it. And then there's just feature shows all over, from Pepper Lamb Comedy and Jose Dynamite Comedy U. People have to check it out. I don't know. We need bigger crowds.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to try to go to more. You have anything else before we end?
No.
You want to shout out your Instagram?
Oh yeah, my Instagram's Kanoa Morse. That's it. It's my name, Kanoa Morse. If you spell my name with an I, that's not me.
And you won't see funny videos on there because it's not him.
You'll see like a surfer or something.
He's probably hot at him too.
Also, I don't know the guy.
Thank you guys so much for watching Lucy's Paradise podcast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and follow Kanoa and come out and watch some comedy shows. Thank you and aloha.
Yeah, you.